Hey guys, in this video I'll be comparing 2007 Ronnie Coleman and 1997 Dorian Yates, a sort of throwback to a series I did a while ago called The Worst of the Best. These two versions of Ronnie and Dorian are objectively their worst, and I thought it would be cool to see how they would stack up against each other. Now before the video does start, if you guys enjoy my content, a like and sub would really help out the channel. With that all being said, let's get into this video. The first pose, the front double, immediately shows you the flaws and injuries that these two possessed. Both have asymmetrical arms, either due to tears or atrophies, which makes the pose flow rather badly. Ronnie still had some impressive size, and especially had some size over Dorian in this pose, as even his left arm is larger and more defined than Dorian's right arm. If Ronnie had the same tricep sweep and size on both arms, he would actually look pretty impressive. However, his downsized quads would still be noticeable. Apart from the arms, Dorian looks impressive in the lats, calves, and his quads are probably at their biggest. Now, both do have large midsections, so they sort of cancel each other out. Although Dorian does look aesthetically better everywhere apart from in the arms, Ronnie is too massive overall and has the better set of arms. I'd probably go with Ronnie for those reasons. However, Dorian is almost as big and doesn't look as melted overall, so it's definitely up for debate. The front lat spread would normally be a fierce battle between these two, however, Ronnie's atrophied right lat and downsized quads take away from his freak factor and overall symmetry. Although he has a strided chest, large arms, and a decent silhouette, his flaws overpower his strengths. In contrast, Dorian has virtually zero flaws as his bicep and tricep tears are noticeable, but they really don't play a role in this pose, and he looks great apart from his wider midsection. His lats look bulbous and freaky, his quads are cut and separated, and his calves are massive, and he has a super full chest. While he doesn't show the same level of conditioning as Ronnie in this picture, other pictures reveal his trademark grainy qualities. Here you can see that grainy, dry quality in these two pictures that I was talking about, as in the other one he had a flash from the camera or something that washed out the details. In this pose, Dorian was quite possibly at his all-time best, apart from the midsection, as he was massive, ripped, and dry. However, some may argue that his torn arms really did throw off the pose. Either way, this version of Dorian certainly beats this version of Ronnie in the front lat spread. The side chest highlights just how massive these two are, as both have huge side legs, massive arms, and pretty impressive chests. Dorian does look a bit smaller than Ronnie, however, his midsection is tighter and his posing is more refined. Both have strided far pecs and good detail and separation in their side legs. However, Ronnie showcases more detail in both the arm and side leg and looks a lot freakier in terms of sheer mass. Dorian does have a lot more of an aesthetically pleasing physique. However, I find Ronnie's freakiness and mass to be an undeniable advantage. Personally, I do prefer Dorian, however, Ronnie's huge upper body and superior side leg might just be enough to win. Let me know down below, guys, what do you think about this side chest? I'd go with Ronnie, but Dorian could also take the pose. The rear double was definitely one of the best poses for these two in their prime, however, it is clear that both are flawed. Ronnie's left lower lat and tricep are atrophied and throw off his entire symmetry, and his glutes and hamstrings are clearly not at their best. On the other hand, Dorian's only real problem are his arms, however, his left tricep is the only seriously noticeable flaw. Apart from that, his back is huge, wide, and grainy, his hamstrings and glutes are peeled, and this pose looks really reminiscent of like 1995. Dorian's back is clearly better than Ronnie's in terms of symmetry, however, Ronnie does show some incredible thickness and size as well. It really is a shame that he had such severe atrophy on the left side of his upper body, since I think, a significantly improved package from 2006, or even just a slightly improved version, could have won the 2007 Olympia. Still, this is definitely a Dorian Yates pose, as everything apart from the left tricep and bicep look amazing. Although the angles are a bit off-center for the rear lat spread, the differences between these two physiques are pretty stark. You can see that Ronnie's lats barely flare out like they used to, and that his entire back looks melted and narrow. His upper traps, hamstrings, and glutes are all relatively large, however, the overall pose looks horrible for him. Dorian once again looks like he's in his prime, as his back is thick, wide, and sharp, showcasing great detail and size. His hamstrings and glutes look super grainy and peeled, and his massive calves only add to this amazing pose. Moreover, his only real weak point, the arms, are now completely out of the equation, which makes this one of his, best poses at this Olympia. This would be an easy win for Dorian, as Ronnie's atrophied and melted back can't stand next to Dorian's. It's almost as if Dorian's back just kept on getting better and better as his career went on, while Ronnie, on the other hand, his back just kept on getting worse and worse after 2005-2006. The side tricep is known as one of Dorian's best poses, while it was always one of Ronnie's weakest. Surprisingly, Ronnie actually looks pretty respectable in the pose, showcasing a tight waist, great side leg, massive chest and delt, and solid arm. He doesn't have his trademark strided tricep, however his size, flow, and execution are impressive relative to his other showings. That being said, Dorian does look so much more impressive, as his posing execution is on a whole nother level. His tricep is nicely defined, his side leg is massive, his waist is large yet controlled, and he looks grainy and polished. I've always been a huge fan of Dorian's posing in the side tricep, and once again, he looks amazing here. Sure, his midsection is a bit blocky, however, his total package is enough to beat Ronnie's. I am still pretty surprised with Ronnie though, as he exceeded my expectations and executed a rather impressive pose. The ab and thigh was never a pose that these two were known for, however, I think it's pretty clear who would be winning. Dorian easily wins in the midsection as his abs are genetically superior and his waist is small, whereas Ronnie's is a complete and utter mess. The quads are pretty close though, since Ronnie's are downsized but pretty cut, while Dorian's are massive but less cleanly defined. Dorian does have those amazing calves, which makes his lower body look more complete. However, I think that regardless of the lower body outcome, Dorian would win the pose. His upper body is just too dominant in terms of the V-taper and midsection, and his overall proportions just look so much more impressive and better. The ab and thigh was never a pose that these two were known for, however, I think it's pretty clear who would be winning. Dorian easily wins in the midsection as his abs are genetically superior and his waist is small, whereas Ronnie's is a complete and utter mess. The quads are pretty close though, since Ronnie's are downsized but pretty cut, while Dorian's are massive but less cleanly defined. Dorian does have those amazing calves, which makes his lower body look more complete. However, I think that regardless of the lower body outcome, Dorian would win the pose. His upper body is just too dominant in terms of the V-taper and midsection, and his overall proportions just look so much more impressive and better. Alright guys, that about does it for this video. In summary, I had Dorian winning this one 5-3, however the side chest most muscular and possibly the front double were close. I do think that Dorian was more polished, refined, and more of a complete bodybuilder at this show, as Ronnie's package did not look like an Olympia-winning physique, while there definitely is a case for Dorian winning the 1997 Olympia. That being said, he did bring a lot of mass and pretty solid conditioning, especially at the finals. However, Dorian was a lot closer to looking like a prime version and was better overall. With that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know down below what you guys thought of this comparison, and like always, thanks for watching.